Good morning. It's crunch time. How was everyone this morning? Keppo! Keppo's good. Tired? Still recovering from call-out? Mm-hmm. Tired but good. Is Steven not back from call-out yet? Yay, Kepi. Kepi is thinking he's getting scoop. Woo!
Yeah, I'm back.
Huh. I'm just gonna make it a normal thing to just suddenly start appearing. Hi, everybody. It's too early.
No one would expect it.
I showed up.
Only MC Node.
He had a cup. Drinking some drink. Makes you think. How did he know? Was it the liquid in the cup? Or did I just tell him?
Meditate on that for a while.
It'd be appropriate if at this point the music cut out and then it slowly faded to black over the course of like 3 minutes. And then breakfast stream just ended very early. I didn't see you do that. So my first thought, within 1 second, I saw that happen and was like, Chaz can't do that. Chaz can't do that. And then I saw that you did it with your foot. If you want to cause fear and concern, morning songs always do that. 5,000 bits from Private Brother for Christ, who says, sing about how you invaded Kahlo for bingo. Alternatively, sing about MC's magic cup liquid.
For fun, watch the clip of Steven arriving during bingo and watch everyone's face. And rewatch it and watch the next person's face. Only MC knew. MC told Campy and Clinkett. Those were the only people there who knew.
Yeah.
I knew, obviously, because Steven had to leave at, like, early. And I had seen Rebecca in chat.
The Raleigh Collective knew.
Yeah, the Raleigh Collective knew.
Except Josh and Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I had seen Rebecca in chat during bingo, and I messaged her, and I was like, I see you in chat. She's like, yeah. I was like, where's Josh right now? She's like, he's going to 7-Eleven or somewhere. I don't know. Some gas station to get a snack or something. And I was like, tell him not to leave. And she's like, I'll try. She's like, why? And I was like, Rebecca, I'm going to explode. I need to tell someone. I was like, Steven's almost there.
Seb says, I walked down towards the end of bingo and saw you on the monitor before seeing you in the room and was like, what? Dan had a similar experience where he had pulled up the stream and there's quite a few people that had a very similar reaction of, oh, Steven. And then like letting it cook for like 3 or 4 seconds and then being like, wait a minute. That happened with Jiggy in a very big way and it was very funny. Because I was standing in the hall with like Tom and Massey and Jules and a few other people, and Jiggy came out from the room and was like, hey, how y'all doing? And I was the one that responded. I was like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Jiggy? And he's like, doing pretty good. And he's like at a table, like getting some food or whatever. And then he turns around and he just stands there and he just stares at me. You can see like the wheels are turning and he's like, you're Steven. And I was like, no. No, I get that a lot, but no, my name's Harold. And he came up and he like touched me and he was like, He's like, why are you here? It was fun. It was very fun. I'm glad that I went. It was a lot in terms of like driving, and it was all very fast paced.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get through alerts and then I'll talk a little bit more about that because I'm sure folks will find that story very fun. We got 20 months from CaveBat11. We have a subscription from Revolver Audicott. Welcome. 26 months from Guy Extronaut. 5 from Neither307. 6 from Diarity. 42 from Starry Phoenix 17. 400 bits from Belladonna Princess says, how can I share art if I don't have Twitter?
They check Blue Sky too, don't they?
Occasionally, I think they do check Blue Sky. But you do have to have like one of those. Like, if you don't have a thing. Vagamon says, whisper me, I'm adding some art now. Okay, so one of the options is to DM a mod. It's a third option. We have 68 months from Brondo, 54 from Epic DXX, 66 from Arian661, 4 months from Shadowstar Dylan, 100 bits from Haley92, 51 months from Samarolian, 10 from Shane the Destroyer, 11 from Miss Mace Windu, 4 months from Taylor Grovehorn. It's much more difficult to talk today. And I don't know if I used up my words.
Yeah.
Or if I'm still tired. One of the two. 31 months from Shadowplay, 64 months from Vegetable Sorbet, 65 from Missing No Leader, 10 from Fur 1001, 45 from Stoop Kid, 50 from A Person Dude, Fossix gifted a sub to I Am Earthbound. Also, I know I said it on the segment, but I rewatched it last night because I hadn't seen it, and I wasn't mic'd, so you can't hear it very well. But thank you, Fossix. Thank you. Fossix is responsible for it being a mashup. It was very fun. It's like, we need 2501, and Fossix is like, no. 25, do the mashup.
And it turned out...
It worked in a way that I feel like it shouldn't have worked. Sam says, that was a mashup of all time. Yeah, it was better than I expected. The musicians killed it.
They did.
I watched that segment last night before bed because I was like, I didn't see the entirety of the segment. I want to watch it and see it from like what they saw at home too. And yeah, it's incredible. The musicians are very, very talented. Special shout out to Sab, who's extremely talented. And being able to just hear a thing that is honestly borderline insane in terms of like how much it's changing and how fast it is, and being like, well, let's do it. It was great. Sab says that Penny song melted my brain since we had to do it so fast, but it turned out great. It is wild that that segment's 2 hours.
Yeah.
And like it just that's apparently all the time you need. Anyway, we got 68 months from Kalen Lux, 11 from Supkid42, 300 bits from Cheesehammer says, glad you could make it to Colo, though you forgot me. I hope you at least liked the drink I sent you during bingo. You looked thirsty. That was disgusting. I've never tasted Ensure. I probably would feel differently if it wasn't room temperature. It was very gross. It touched my lips.
You didn't even taste it?
I did taste it. But it touched my lips and I was like, oh no. Very I had turned over to Jared and I was like, do we have any ice? And he's like, we don't have any ice. And I was like, why don't we have any ice? It's the one thing we do need. Anyway, 300 bits from Will Peters says, what made you decide to go? On Friday, we watched the beginning when it started.
With the intro and stuff.
We saw the intro and then everyone comes on screen. And Mal and I were watching it and seeing everyone, I was like, oh. It's like, man. Coffee. I miss everyone. I really wish I could be there.
Yeah.
And on Friday, I had a bunch of other stuff to do, so I was working and stuff. I had a brief passing thought of like, well, Kep is doing okay this week. He hasn't had any major problems. I could go. And I went to bed that night, and then the next morning I woke up, it was Saturday, and I was like, I could go. And I ran it by, because there was a get-together on Saturday night, because Chaz's parents were in town. So we were over at Chaz's house. On
Saturday night.
Yeah, and I had been running it by people, and I decided to go. And, Mal and Haley were concerned about the state I had been in, because last week I just didn't sleep well, like, for a while. Haley says you ran it by people who all said don't. I mean, like, Mal wanted me to go because you wanted me to, like...
Because you wanted to go.
Because I wanted to go.
It's a thing
I wanted to do, but
I kept telling you, because, like, on Friday I was like, you should sleep and then decide.
Which is what I did. I got
then
sleep.
You probably didn't sleep Friday.
No, I did sleep Friday.
Friday night was the night that we scrubbed back through clips late till like 3 a.m.
Yeah, but I slept in.
Okay.
I got sleep Friday. I didn't do great on Saturday, but I did get sleep on Friday because I thought about that. When I went to sleep on Friday, I was like, well, let's see. So...
Give me the bird.
Alex says, literally everyone you ran it by advised you to sleep instead, but you're a big boy and it sounds like it was a good call in the end. Depending on how desperately tired you are now. It was fine. Steven, should I do this? Everyone, no. Mal, yes. Steven, good enough. I value what my friends have to say, and I did listen to everyone. But I did want to go, and Mal was like, it's clear that you want to go. And I was like, I do want to go.
So sleep and see how you feel.
I mean, it's not that I didn't hear everybody talking about how I should sleep instead. I heard that, and I was like, well, I'll see how I feel. And you just did. That's not true. You know that's not true. You know I very much value what you have to say. But I just really wanted to go. So then I went. No further comments. There's a few more alerts. I have more to talk about, but I'll get through alerts. Thomas says Mal wanted 2 days to herself and made it happen.
It was so productive.
She was. It was wild. I came home and like so much was done. It was amazing. You did amazing. Holy crap.
Thanks.
Anyway. We got 500 bits from 800 bits from Gamers 00700. It says, congrats making it to Colosseum, Stephen. Thank you. Thank you. I drove a car. It took 7 hours to get home yesterday.
How did it take 7 to get home?
Yeah, I know. Wasn't.
You went a different way than Josh.
We did?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's why it took us so long to get home.
Why did it take you that?
We stopped.
Thomas.
We stopped. Yeah, Oklahoma's far away now. We stopped a lot.
Sure.
So Josh was on his own.
Yeah.
And I had Dan.
Yeah.
And I think we stopped like 5 times on the way home. Like we really, we were trying to get to where Josh was, right? Because we were going to pick him up from the rental car place.
Yeah.
But we kept having to stop. Haley says, who was the reason for the stop? I think it was split pretty evenly between me and Dan, actually. I think it was because there was a time that we stopped it because I was like, I have to pee. And then there was a time where Dan was like, I have a headache, but I have some ibuprofen in my bag in the back. And then like during that time, I was like, well, shoot, we need to find a spot to stop. But then there was a Wendy's, and I was like, well, let's stop at this Wendy's and get a Frosty. Because, like, you know, you gotta put some things together. That just made sense.
Yeah.
I hadn't had a Frosty in years. They're good. Anyway, 300 bits from the Reload says, Clowny fun fact to make people feel old. The I Am Earthbound song is older than Twitch itself, both as Twitch and as Justin TV, and YouTube was only a few months old when it was uploaded.
It's a parody, too.
That's the other thing. There's a lot of people that were learning that yesterday. They were like, it's a parody? And I'm like, it's a parody. I think we're in this weird spot now where the song is more well known than the original song. But yeah, it's a parody. Yeah. I haven't listened to the song it's a parody of in a long time.
So we can't make any comments about it.
My assumption is that song probably has aged super poorly.
Yep.
I bet it's bad. So probably don't listen to the original. But yeah, I Am Earthbound has everyone associates like that beat with that song, but that's not what the song is. We've got 300 bits from Throwdown. It says, I was thrift shopping a few days ago, and while I was in the video games section, I found a sealed copy of Deal or No Deal for the Nintendo DS. Did you pick it up? That's the big question. You pick it up, and then you just keep trying to find them. As many as you can. We still have a ton.
Yeah.
We have a bunch. How much were they when I bought them? I think $1.
I think so.
Yeah.
You gonna bring some to Roland?
Yeah. Yeah, if I remember to, yeah, I will. We got 500 bits from Shy, who says, I didn't get to watch Kahlo live except for maybe 2 segments, so I only saw you at the start of Wonder. I saw you on the couch alone and went, is this a bit? Is he green screening from home? It was fun because I came in during bingo, but there was obviously people that weren't there at bingo, so I watched throughout the entire rest of the day. There was always someone in chat at any given time being like, Steven?
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was fun to give people like constant surprises, basically. 300 bits from Jacebook says, can I just say I thoroughly enjoyed the Wii Trivia bumper. I could tell you had a lot of fun making that. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It was very fun to make. I spent a little too long on it, like from the editing standpoint.
Yeah.
But at the time that I was doing it, I was like, well, you know, this is my contribution. Yeah, surprising no one. This is my contribution to the event. And I was like, you know, here we go. And then after it was done, after I had sent it off to MC, that was when I was like, well, I could go. So I had also seen someone ask.
I wish you could have been there Saturday for disc only, but
yeah,
you needed that night of sleep too.
It had briefly crossed my mind when I went to sleep on Friday that if I got up
early Saturday
and like, or even if I didn't get up early, but like if I went, I could make it for the end of Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I concluded that was a bad idea. I was like, okay.
Thank you for concluding that.
So yeah, just let it be known that like Mal pushed me to go and Haley kept me from going one extra day. There. The balance is complete. See, I didn't completely make a bad mistake. But going on Saturday would have been that. I'm glad I didn't do that. We got 52 months from Night Owl 20, 31 from Swift for Sweeper, and 39 from Furious Kitty. There's also 6 arts?
I think it's extra, not extra. I think it's Throne Controller's art.
Should I play it in breakfast stream?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at it. Oh my goodness.
Did you see their paintings?
I did. I haven't seen the whole painting segment, but I watched the end where you called in.
Yeah.
Which was very funny. You are very funny.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
These were incredible.
These are very good. I'm very impressed at how well it matches the originals. Mm-hmm. These are extremely good. Very impressed. I saw this. I saw this on Twitter, and then at the event, like Tom and Dan and maybe someone else like showed it to me to make sure I saw it.
I could not have predicted that you showing up during bingo was the most
Bingo!
perfect segment, but it was.
Get a friend who can do both. I don't know who it was that requested the birthday shouting, but that was really great, and I'm so glad you did it. That was fun to do, too. That was a pretty last-minute decision, because we were going to start with no one, and MC was like, put Steven on the couch. And I was like, okay. I was like, I guess I'll just look really sad. And he was like, yeah! Done. So,
I think John's reaction to you arriving is my favorite.
yeah.
There's like this whole stage that the face just change. It's like shock and then disbelief and then like slightly like overwhelmed, sad, like, oh god, Steven's here, I'm so happy.
It was fun. I had decided I was going to go on Saturday. On Friday, I sent a message to MC because I had given him the bumper, and then I sent him a message. 5 stages of Steven arriving grief. I sent him a message and was like, "Hey, I can just tell you what I said." Hold
Ouch!
on.
That was my shoulder
Did
popping.
you just hurt
Yeah.
yourself? Please don't do that.
I'm waiting for my allergy meds to kick in.
I said, I had sent him the bumper a few days before, and then he sent me a message and said, your bumper will air today at 3:50 for your, 3:50 p.m. So I would know when it was going to air. That was Saturday, right? The 4th was Saturday? Yeah, okay, so he told me it's Saturday. And then I said, one other thing. I am heavily considering driving up there tomorrow morning and being around all day for Sunday. Kepler's doing well enough that I feel comfortable with Mal being here to take care of him for one night. I wouldn't announce it, partially because I'm not sure yet. So this was at 11 a.m. on Saturday, so I wasn't sure. I wouldn't announce it partially because I'm not sure yet, and partially because I think it'd be more fun as a surprise, but I'll be in touch. I would just be there Sunday and then leave out on Monday. And MC says, oh wow, that would be amazing. I would love to get to see you. I can keep it quiet for now. And then it was at 6 p.m. where I said, all right, let's do it. And then I had a bunch of questions and stuff. Yeah. It was great. I really enjoyed getting a chance to see everyone, but then also getting a chance to surprise everyone. Like that's...
Haley92 says, who knew? MC told Campy and Clinkett, and that was all. No one else knew. Dan did not know. Josh did not know.
Yeah. There was a little bit of a concern, because you had expressed this to me of like, are you going to turn off Find My?
Yeah. So
Dan and Josh don't know that you're like driving. And I was like, I don't think they're going to check Find My. They're preoccupied at the event. And my assumption is that if they were to check, they would reach out to me first instead of being like, hey, everyone. But they never checked, so they had no idea. And it was very...
you aren't checking on your Sims like every 20 minutes.
It was very fun to walk in. So when I walked in the door, right to the left, like when I walked into the streaming room, right to the left was Josh. And he just like looked at me and went, it was great. I really did love that. Tom found out when I got there. Tom is the one that let me in. Like, he opened the door or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I had just seen him from
seconds
before. So I saw Jules out there too. And like, I want to say like 1 or 2 other people were just like outside in the hall. And I just walked in and was like, hey. 30 Bits from Night Owl says, can't believe you drove all the way to Colo just to drop the greatest rap verse known to man and leave. Sunday was a whirlwind. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed being there. I didn't know, for sure that was going to happen, that I Am Earthbound was going to happen. But again, thank you to Fossix for doing that. And once I was there, I was like, well, I can do the vocals for this. It was fun to redo that after all this time, because it's been like 17 years. It's half my life ago. It was wild.
All the hype around you arriving, then just a second of you and Lacey meeting each other. Yeah. I watched it. You were like, "Hi, I'm Steven."
Yeah, I
Lacey.
I turned around. I was like, "You're Lacey, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Nice to meet you." And she said, "You're Steven." I said, "Yes." There was quite a few people I had to meet.
Yeah.
There was several new people there, and I tried my best to go out of my way to like introduce myself and say hello. I think I met everyone. I think I did. We got 300 bits from Shane the Destroyer. Says, donators clowned on you, giving you infinite lives for wonder. What'd you think of it, by the way? It was... That part was funny. In terms of, like, I never... Because afterwards, John was like, did you ever leave the couch? I was like, no. I was like, every time they were like, oh, you have 1,000 lives. And I was like, okay. So I never left the couch. The game itself is very fun. It's a game that I want to play at some point. I don't know when. By the time I play it, I'm sure I will have forgotten what I've played. But I did really enjoy it. My favorite thing about it was hat. You can press the shoulder button, and you pull your hat out, and you like float. That was my favorite part of the whole game, like a paraglider.
So it's Peach's floatability, but everyone gets it.
Well, Peach's floatability usually keeps her at the same plane.
Yeah, okay.
Like, she can just float. This is like a
slow
descent.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that was different that because I'd never played it, that I was learning live, especially during the one level that's just wall jumps. Mm-hmm. So the wall jumps work super different. It's like if you wall jump, your first wall jump takes you vertically, and then the next wall jump kicks you off. And that's not how the other Mario games work. So it was a little weird to play. Oh, it's a special badge? Anyway, there's a lot to learn. I'll figure it out once I actually play it for myself. We get 30 months from Mean Dean 12. Mean Dean, thank you. I'm trying to think if there's any other things to really talk about in regards to like going or traveling or anything. I had to get up on Sunday morning at...
early.
Yeah, I woke up before 6 a.m., which, was not super great because on Saturday was Fortune Cookie, and John wanted me on for that. And
right before Fortune Cookie started, I messaged John, and I was like, you know how Steven's joking about having to go to bed early? He does need to go to bed early. Yeah. And the reason I had to go to bed early was because I had to wake up early in the morning to drive there. Yeah. NG Ben says that's why the Patreon vid went out. Correct. Yeah, once I finally made the decision to go, I was like, I need to get the Patreon video done because otherwise it's going to be several more days. So I did it, and I saw someone asking if I knew I was going to go in the Patreon video. I did, but I didn't tell patrons because I really wanted it to be a surprise for everyone. So at the end of the Patreon video, I just am like, hey, tune in to Colo on Sunday. Like, it's going to be a good time. Right when I knew you were going to get there, and I knew what segment you were going to be in for, I posted in Discord, I was like, none of you are ready. And then you show up, and everyone in Discord was like, oh my god, Steven's there. And I was like, I told you none of you were ready. Yeah, I'm glad that I got to, even if for just one day, I'm glad that I got to be there, and that was fun. I think it's important for everyone to know that I attended 0 meetings for Colosseum. Not a single one, which is actually impressive because I didn't know I wasn't going to go until April. I mean, I went to all the meetings up until we knew we weren't going. Chaz, applause. We love it when you don't attend meetings. Chaz is clapping. I know. Yeah, there were multiple meetings. I just never went. Listen, I'm busy, and Mal was going, and she gave me the rundown. Yeah. But yeah, then obviously at the beginning of April, Kep was sick, and I was like, oh, okay, now we're not going to Colo.
But since I had no knowledge of the event at all, so walking in on bingo, like MC had told me, like, you can show up during bingo, and I was like, okay. And then walking in, I'm like, is this just normal bingo?
And John's like, yeah.
And one thing that never clicked with me at all until after the segment was that things were segmented between the old and I guess the young?
It was heroes and villains. That was all of it.
The old people were heroes or villains?
Well,
there was a table of old people.
Bingo was old and young, yes. But everything else was heroes and villains.
Yeah, I'm talking about bingo.
Okay.
Like, I came in and I sat down, and, like, I saw that, that Andrew and Erica were in wigs, and they were being old, but there was no part of me that was like, oh, that table is old, and this table is not. Like, I did not make that connection. And I also had no idea what was happening at all. So that was fun. It was kind of neat to have no idea about anything. I kind of liked it, and it also MC will not like this, but it taught me that I don't need to attend a single meeting. I was like, oh, I did just fine without knowing what was going on. Clearly in the future I don't need to go to any meetings. Cool. Done. I can't wait. I'm gonna save so much time next year. But yeah, it was fun. I had a great time. I talked to so many people, you know, because
I'm very sad I missed seeing everyone.
Everyone missed you so much. Everyone
I missed
missed
them.
you
I posted
so much.
multiple times in our group chat, like, you're all gonna knock it out of the park. Love you all. Miss you so much.
Every single when I first saw anyone, they asked about you, and then multiple times while I was there, they asked about you, and like when I was leaving, they were like, "You let Mal know how missed she was," and like every single person said that. There were people there that were new, and they were like, "I'm really upset I didn't get to meet Mal." Like, Mal is like. And I was just like, there's so much love for you. And,
that's very sweet.
And I understand, because you're great.
Thank you.
Anyway, yeah. Next year. Maybe. I guess I can't promise that, honestly. I have no idea, what things will look like next year, but... Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any other thing notable about the event.
Take turns of who goes. I go next year.
That is fair. That's completely fair. I don't know how you feel about driving a great distance.
Well, if I'm driving with Dan and Josh,
then they can drive. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Fly. Also an option.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other interesting things. I spent a lot of time, like, if I was off screen, I was talking to people because I haven't seen these folks in a year. Mm-hmm. And most people have, like, you know, several days to catch up, and I was, like, there for one, so I was just trying to get as much time in with people as I could. I probably stayed up a little too late. I knew I would. I was like, what time is checkout? At like noon. And I was like, okay. And I had talked to Dan and Josh, and we concluded that, honestly, we needed to leave by noon because they had to return the rental car. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, so we'll just try and get out of here at noon. And I went to... I had been up until like 2, maybe? I stayed up until about 2 a.m. talking to everyone, like, in the green room. And then I stayed in John's room because John had a spare bed. Yeah. And when I got up to the room...
I'm making a note, sorry.
When I got up to the room, I talked to John for like 3 hours. So at like 5 a.m., I'm like, all right, I need to go to sleep. And I set my alarm for like 11:15. So I got like 6 hours of sleep or whatever. But yeah, I having had that whirlwind of last week and the weekend, like today, I'm like, oh, I'm a little tired.
A little tired.
Just a little bit. But I had a great time. Haley, I will sleep. It is going to take me a while to recover. But I will recover. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere else for a while. Oh wait, no, I am. I'm going back to Myrtle Beach. Well, I have some time to rest and recover before that, so I'll be okay. It also doesn't take as long to get to Myrtle Beach. So
Brandon says the mood in my house yesterday was everyone sleep. So I guess Josh and Dan got home and we're like, night, bye.
Yeah, I rode with I drove Dan yesterday, and we were joking. We're like, all right, Josh had custody of Dan on the way up, but I get custody of Dan on the way back, and that was a fun time. I mean, we chatted for hours and got Frosties. It was great. It was a lot of fun. We had 17 months from Ming Ming 4191. Thank you, appreciate it. There's something else I was going to say.
Every rest stop on the way.
I did feel bad because what happened was that the plan had been the three of us went and got lunch.
Yeah.
We went to a barbecue place and we got lunch, and the plan had been we were going to drive together, like at the same time, and then Dan was going to be with one of us halfway, and then we were going to swap, and Dan would ride with the other person. But we're sitting there eating lunch, and Josh looks at his watch, and he's like, I need to go. He's like, I need to get the rental car back. He's like, if I don't leave now, it's going to be tight. And like, you know, traveling I-95, that's the worst road in America. So there's always going to be delays.
95 is awful.
And he was like, you know, I should go. And I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, you know, you actually should, because when I was doing the math for us leaving, yeah, the 101 is under the chat. When I was doing the math for us leaving, I hadn't really factored in food. Like, I hadn't factored in, like, sitting down at a sit-down place. And, we can talk about rental car tricks later. So he had to leave. And then, after he left, me and Dan sat there and just took our time for, like, another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we weren't done.
Yeah.
Josh ate quick.
See, Josh needed picked up from the rental car place, though.
I know!
Because
I know!
Josh was almost there, and Dan's posting to the group chat, can anyone go get Josh?
So here's what happened.
And Brandon's like, yeah, I'll go get him.
Here's what happened. We were like 20 minutes behind Josh. And I was thinking, okay, we're going to be 20 minutes behind Josh, but Josh is going to get there and has to return the car. So by the time that works out, he'll be waiting for just like 10 minutes. And I wasn't worried. I wasn't too worried about that. But then, you know, then it was like, oh, well.
We need a Frosty.
We didn't need a Frosty.
But you got one.
Yeah, we got one because we were at the Wendy's. We had to stop because Dan needed an ibuprofen. And he got an ibuprofen, but we did it in the parking lot of a Wendy's.
Uh-huh.
So we could also get a Frosty. It's multitasking. Anyway, we did stop. We honestly stopped like 5 times. There was one time where we stopped, and we stopped to pee. And then like 15 minutes later, I was like, I think I need to pee again. So then we stopped again. It all worked out. It just took a little while. We got there. It was fine. Anyway, 4 months from Toddly Satisfying. 50 months from Juliet 27. Reading a bit from Jacebook says, so you and John shared a room. I can only imagine John waking up to the sounds of Seven? What? 7? What sound of 7? Becca says, did you forget?
Oh, you were counting.
Oh! I was like, what is this? Yeah, that. Okay, I do remember that. I couldn't put the context together, but I got there. I did enjoy doing that. It's my favorite. My favorite thing is seeing John break, and then
you do like to make John laugh so hard that he can't breathe.
Yeah,
that is like your favorite thing in the world.
It's one. Yeah, it's definitely up there. Because I was in the green room and someone came in and they're like, someone wants you to do Birthday John or something, and I was like, okay, yeah, all right. Haley says you do like to hurt your friends. I don't know that that is an accurate sentence. I don't think that that's true. I don't believe that that's true. Yeah. Vagabond says, I believe it was Rexar. Rexar was also responsible for pushing for I Am Earthbound initially. Yeah. Fossix donated for it, but Rexar was the one that was trying to get people to do it. So, Haley says, who are they going to believe, Steven? I know. It's fine. Anyway. Is that a real quote?
Yeah.
Mao, I think your husband is trying to kill me?
I don't think it was from Sunday, but John has said that before. I think the last time you did that.
Yeah. Jam says, how do you not lose your voice? I don't know. Honestly, I've spent a lot of time wondering how other people lose their voices. There's a lot of people who do what I do, and several times a year they'll be like, yeah, I've lost my voice. And I'm like, I don't that doesn't happen to me. I don't know if there's something that we're doing different, or if there's something different, like physiologically.
We wish it would.
Holy Christ, Haley! Haley just coming in with multiple steel chairs today. Wow. Jeez. I just won't talk.
I know definitely the first 2 years Tom's voice was hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tom is doing a very difficult voice.
Yes.
I mean, part of losing your voice is doing something that is harming your vocal cords. And I try very hard not to do things that will harm vocal cords, right? But if you're doing that, then yeah, there's a high probability that you're going to wind up doing that. But like the Jonathan birthday stuff, like I could probably do that for a long time before I had any issues with that. That doesn't seem terribly difficult. We got 3 into it. Some Shia says, who are they going to believe? I mean, if we're being honest, Mal above anyone. I don't think I cause my friends too much strife.
One of my favorite bumpers was the one where they're like, oh, he said it. Where Tom meets one of the new people. They're like, oh, hey, I'm Lacey. And he's like, I'm... And everyone rushes up to, like, look excited at him.
I haven't seen that one.
I really loved that one.
I haven't seen that one, but I saw a still image of it.
Yeah.
So I knew that there was a very funny bumper, but I haven't seen it. I'm really looking forward to the bumper compilation, because I haven't seen them all. So that's going to be very exciting. I was not sure how the bumper stuff was going to go, because there's, Dan especially was concerned that I wasn't going to be there. And I was like, well, we'll just see, we'll see what happens. And like, no problems at all. Not only did they hit the number of bumpers that they needed, or exceeded it, but they also were of quality. Like, me not being there had no effect on any of that at all. Like, they did great. So I was really proud of everybody. And I saw some of the bumpers, and I was very impressed by some of them. Some of them also made me laugh very hard. But I am looking forward to the compilation so I can actually watch them all. I didn't see Lacey's, but I saw some people, I think in the Discord, saying that Lacey's was very good. And someone had told me at Colo that Lacey's partner is like a videographer. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm looking forward to watching that one and the other ones as well. So, yeah, that'll be very, very exciting. Anyway, we had 51 months from Shenny Nerd. Shenny Nerd, thank you. It looks like you got a new friend. I mean, their partner wasn't at Colo. Yeah. But maybe in the future. The other thing is that Colo has upgraded their equipment. Last year when I was there, I was talking to, like, it's fun for me to just talk to, like, MC and Campy and Jiggy about, like, equipment. And when I was there last year, I was telling them about the cameras we use. Because I was like, yeah, we use Blackmagic Studio Pros. And I was like, they're great. I was like, because they're 4K, so if you're doing a 1080 stream, you could just punch in, and you have a lot of leeway with that. I was like, they're high quality cameras. They're really inexpensive for what they are. And then I told them, I was like, and in a broadcast setting, like when you're using multiple cameras, I was like, they have tally lights, they have all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was very fun for me to walk in on Sunday and see that they had bought those cameras. And I was like...
Were they using the tally lights?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So the cameras there were very familiar because they're the ones we use here. They had got the cameras that I had talked about last year. They had some other stuff too, like my cinema camera is an FX3. There's an APS-C version of that's the FX30, and they had there was an FX30 there. They were using it for the tent donation stuff.
Yes.
And then also, Campy said they were getting an additional FX30. And I'm like, those are great cameras. And honestly, it generally makes more sense to have an FX30 than an FX3. Especially in broadcast. I had a great conversation with Campy about the cameras, because after Bingo, I came out and I was talking to him, and I was like, I see you guys got the studios. And he's like, yeah. And we were talking about how it made so much more sense to use something like that, because the depth of field is very deep, because the sensor is so small. And like, people are always so and that was my rant during Bingos. People are always so obsessed with, oh, the sensor's got to be bigger. No, not always. If these cameras use a micro four thirds sensor, which is so much better for something like broadcast if you're trying to get a lot of people in focus. If you have a full frame camera, you're screwed. What are you gonna do? Even if you blast the room with so much light that everyone's melting, you can only stop the lens down so much, and things get fuzzy when you stop it down to the extreme. So, like, yeah, micro four thirds makes a ton of sense.
Did I hit it?
No.
Ah.
You tried. Things get fuzzy when you stop. Reading about some Slick Duke says, one of my personal favorite moments was when I got John to sing a hoedown. He said afterwards, how does Stephen do this all the time? When was the hoedown?
There was a hoedown and an Irish drinking song.
I was part of the Irish drinking song, but I don't remember the hoedown.
There was a hoedown.
Neat.
The boy.
Hi, buddy.
Cookie? It might have been Cookie.
Was it Cookie?
Beginning of John versus Chat. That was it.
Oh, I gotta. Someone find a clip of that, like on Discord, and like tag me so I can see it. I want to see that.
There is a document I've seen of a bunch of moments with. Stuff.
With just stuff like that.
Kiki.
Have a good day at work, Kaylee. Yeah, I would love to see that. It is hard. I mean, whenever I've talked to people in the past, like if we have people on here and they have
we ask them first. We don't just throw them into that.
Yeah. We had a discussion about that on Saturday, where Haley had said that Chaz just threw her into the song. And Chaz was like, he's like, the first time you were ever on a song, he's like, I did ask. He's like, but then after that, he's like, I just assumed you could do it. And to be fair, she can. Yeah. Like, she did it, so.
You want to put him on your lap?
I would love to do that, yeah. I think folks, once they do one, they're like, oh, wait, this is sometimes a little harder than they're expecting. Hi, buddy. Good boy. Yes. Little man.
He did good while you were gone. He
Good.
did scratch my hand while I tried to give him a pill, but
Yeah, his nails need cut.
yeah, that would have helped.
We gotta cut your nails so we don't bleed as much.
Yeah.
Don't want to bleed. Yeah. Good
He
boy.
missed you, though.
I missed him too. I figured things were fine.
Look at him just stare at you.
Good cat. We 3 into Bits from J-Spoke says, also one of the craziest moments for me during the bumpers was how Jared apparently mentioned my username while reading donations outside. Lacey Steven, I'm coming for that Emmy. Get that Emmy. Everyone deserves an Emmy. How you doing? His breathing is always the hardest when he's purring.
Yeah.
Which, like, makes sense, but also it's like I want him to be happy and I love to see him purr, but then also that's the most concerning time for me is like, it's like, okay, calm down. Calm down, buddy. Calm down, little man. Yeah. He is a sweet boy, though.
He's a very sweet boy.
Very sweet boy.
He has a lot to purr about.
Yeah, I'm home. We also had 51 months from VCR Son. Thank you. Is there any other things we want to mention about Colo before we end?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
I did brainstorm with someone about things for next year, but there's not any planning of that happening.
Okay. Vagabond says favorite segment. So that's the other thing. I really didn't see much of the show. Like I watched very, very little on Friday. I mostly watched the bumpers. I watched a good chunk of it, several hours on Saturday while we were at Chaz's house with his parents because we had it pulled up.
Yeah, we did subject them to a lot of it.
But there's a lot that I have not seen, so...
Yeah, there's a lot I haven't seen.
I mean, historically, my favorite segment is usually when they put together a song. And that's not from the bias of, like, our community almost always pushes their way into that in a big way. It's just genuinely because I love to see the musicians work and figure things out super fast. And Jules is very talented at what he does as well, like mixing everything. So, like, that's usually my favorite segment anyway. Yeah. And this year was very special because I got to provide vocals for that part, so that was fun. But I do want to see more of the show when I actually get a moment to do that. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I have any other things to talk about. I didn't vlog much. I know that'll be a thing of people like, oh, I can't wait to see the vlogs. Like, I filmed very little because I was
Busy.
I was either on stream or I was just talking to everybody. So I filmed very, very little. I'll probably pull some clips from the stream into the vlog. That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Streams today. Mao, you guys stream today?
I'm streaming at 1. I'm going to paint some more of that Sumie.
It's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
It's going to be very, very good. I can't wait till we start seeing the color in there, too.
Oh, that's very last.
I
So
know.
it's going to be a while.
I know, but that's like where it just is like, ah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 hours from now, over on twitch.tv/MaoMakes, you can watch Mao continue to paint. It's always a very calming, casual stream. And then tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's correct. Well, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Let me just double check. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. Should maybe put it on the calendar. Metroid 2. Which I'm really looking forward to. We played through Metroid 1. And that was a fun time. And now it's done, so we're moving on to the Game Boy game, Metroid 2. Playing it on Switch. I think I'm going to use the Super Nintendo controller. I ran into a really interesting problem.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Switch glitched or if it's just something that was huge oversight. I used the NES controller to get into the Game Boy app. And once I got into the Game Boy app,
You don't have a...
there's no way
Yeah.
to get out. Which is weird. Like the L and R buttons that are on the NES controller do not take you to the overlay pause menu. And there's no home button. So once you start a Game Boy game with an NES controller, you're just in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Retro Remedy says you can press home on the dock switch. That's the only way to do it. Which is stupid. Very stupid. Because typically, the reason the controllers are wireless is that you're like away from the system. So you have to get up and press the button. So I decided to not use an NES controller because that sounds awful. So Super NES controller can go back to the menu because it has the additional... It has the Z, the LZ and Z or whatever. So that can do it. But like so as a quick example, you can't make save states on the Game Boy app with an NES controller because you can't pull up that menu. What? Anyway, Super Nintendo controller now. That's what I'm going to do. Wait, 300 Bits from Cheesehammer says, so you've crashed Josh's stream, now John's stream for Colo. Who's next? Jared isn't that far, right? Should he start looking over his shoulder? Maybe. I mean, really, what'll happen is I'll just crash Josh's again. It's much more convenient. He loves it. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, tomorrow at 1 p.m., Metroid 2. Thursday, breakfast stream.
Yep.
And then Friday, back to Zelda.
Back to Zelda.
Back to Zelda. We really need to do... we need to make some progress.
Yeah.
I feel like last Zelda stream, we didn't do much. I feel like you found some pants.
Yeah, we were in the depths.
And then I'm like, did we do anything else? There's like an entire stream where we got like pants.
Hooray.
I don't know that we did anything. It was not super good, I think. We did do stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew that's coming up. M. Tappet says Sunday marks 1 year since the release of the game. When I was at Colo, Tyler was like, so what year are you going to finish Tears of the Kingdom? And I was like, God help me, Tyler. It better be this year. Like, it's like it better be this year. It better be in 2024. Okay.
Are you just not getting comfy?
Here.
He's take back and forth.
There we go. You gotta lay on your side, bud. There you go. That's comfort.
He has people to do that for him.
I know. He doesn't have to rearrange his body.
I'll just pick him up and move him. Turn him.
Tyler's played less than me? What year's he gonna finish? Alright. That's it.
Her and more.
That's it. I hope y'all have a really great Tuesday, and I sincerely hope that you tune into Mouse Stream in 3 hours. Yeah.
Gonna paint.
Y'all have a good one. We will see you at Mouse Stream
at 1.
And I will see you back here tomorrow at 1 for Metroid 2.